see from there? Can you see from there? Tricked you.
Katie, are you taking pictures?
Uh-huh. Well, not right now, Tim.
The world's waiting for the sunrise.
Did you start playing when you were young? Did you start playing when you were young also?
I'm gonna introduce Tim.
Did you start playing the piano when you were young also?
What?
When you were young, did you start playing it?
I was 5.
Five, no kidding. Wow.
Okay, I'll stay on.
That was nice.
Hi. What's that, hi?
Tim, you're in there?
Hi.
Got a seat for you right there, although the purse is on it right now. Here. I'll wait for Belinda now. I was going to introduce you formally, but these are my parents, Glenn and Helena Regula.
Nice to meet you.
And that's Belinda, Timmy's mother's grandmother. It's my oldest son, Brad,
Hi.
and middle son, Jeff.
Hi, nice
Hi.
You met Katie. That's my cousin, Gloria.
Nice to meet
And
you.
that's Belinda's friend, Jeanette, and her daughter,
Hi. You're from Binghamton?
Brittany.
Is that- No.
I never
Okay, that friend didn't come. I was driving through there and I was thinking about her.
So we entered it.
Okay.
Well, I was supposed to say something for introduction, but with such a small group, most of whom I'm related to, it's a little strange. I'd like to say that Linda and I believe that talents are God's gift to us, and what we do with them are our gift to God. So Linda has really encouraged the children. I've always encouraged all four of my children to explore their talents and develop them. The difference is Belinda is the implementer of that belief and has been the one to really get Tim to practice. And also, I'm going to introduce you to Pam, to Tim's piano teacher, who of course has been instrumental in helping Tim to learn. So I'd like to introduce Dr. Karen Hogan, and she's going to explain a little bit about the Suzuki method, I think.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm just really privileged to be here this evening, and I'm sorry to hold everyone up, but as I was telling Belinda and Gary that I do a lot of accompanying, and that's the life of a pianist, that you follow whatever the group is doing, and I was accompanying a lot of little violin students today and out in Ashtabula County, so it was an interesting trip to get here. But anyway, the Suzuki program that I am involved in is really geared to the young child. And it was developed by a man in Japan. His name was Dr. Shinichi Suzuki. He lived to be 99 years old. He just died a year ago in February. And Dr. Suzuki was born into a family of violin makers. His father made violins for over 100 years, the family over 100 years. And the only thing that he knew a violin was good for was a baseball bat. He would just, he knew nothing about a violin, which was really quite interesting. He didn't start to study the violin until he was an adult. When he was in Europe, he was studying in Europe, and he took up the violin and loved the European style music, as opposed to, he loved his Oriental music, but he loved the European music. And through the course of events, he married a lady from Germany, and they went back to Japan to live. And during this time, he was watching children and the way children learn. And he noticed that children from very difficult dialect backgrounds could always learn their native tongue. And so he started to think about this, and then of course during this time Japan entered the Second World War. And during that time there was such devastation in the country, and all the little children just seemed to be in such despair. And one thing he kept thinking about was that music, because he loved music so much and had brought such joy into his life, that he could bring joy to the children of Japan, even though there was great devastation. And so during this time of war, he stayed in the mountains. He became very ill. And he stayed in the mountains of what we know as Matsumoto, Japan, and started his writings about children, and the fact that since they learned their native tongue so easily, even with the slightest change in dialect, they can mimic their parents so well, that this could also be used for music. And so he started doing some studying with individual children and found that if the master would imitate the proper way to play any instrument, that the child could learn very easily. And so we now know that is what we call talent education, and the use of the mother tongue. That's what his term for it was, mother tongue. We think of as the child's mother, the way the child speaks. And so this method of music instruction is very different from what most of us have traditionally. I know Gary studied music, and I studied music, and we studied what we call traditional, which is a myriad of different methods. But that was always taught that the child has a book and learns to read the music and play at the same time. But if you really want to think about it, it's very difficult to do more than one thing at a time. And so he started to think, well, how does a child learn to speak? Do we hand the child a piece of paper and say, "Dad, Dad"? No, of course we don't. The mother says the word and the child mimics it. And later on, the child then goes to school and studies how to read. And that's the same way in the Suzuki method. We teach a child by listening, as opposed to what we often hear is teaching or the child learning to play by ear. In a sense, it is learning to play by ear, but it is by listening. And the child has a tape, and Tim listens to, and I know Katie listens too probably, to his tape every day of the music that he is playing and will play. And on these tapes, they learn this music so much it gets into their brain that when they come to the lesson, they can very easily learn the next piece because they have heard it. And so instead of just teaching notes, I can teach them how to play it beautifully, how to have good technique, how to have good dynamic contrast in the music. And so having sat and listened to many, many children over the years, I became myself convinced that this was the best method to teach children music, because I think it teaches them not only to play the instrument, but to love it, and to play it well enough at a very young age that they'll want to continue it later on. And so that is the basic premise of the Suzuki method. And I, just to let you know, I also have 4 children of my own whom I have worked with for many years as a parent, not only as a teacher, but as a parent. And I became convinced of it actually as a parent before I became convinced of it as a teacher. So now I started my studio and several years ago, and now enjoy seeing not only my children, but also my students progress as well.
I'd like to mention that your eldest son is a wonderful musician.
Oh,
Remarkable.
well, actually, my son and daughter, Nancy is 15 and Gregory is 13, and they will be playing next Saturday afternoon at 2 o'clock. They'll be playing at Wall Recital Hall in Carnegie Hall in New York City. They want to, and they were Suzuki trained. They started out just as Tim is going to play tonight. All 4 of my children started out in the very same method, and of course over the years have progressed to now my 3 older children are now out of the Suzuki volumes and into other rhymes. I must say that except for the first book, all of the other pieces that are in the Suzuki, what we call repertoire, they are all pieces that you would traditionally see in any piano program. All the children learn the basic minuets. They learn the sonatinas and the sonatas by Haydn, Beethoven, Brahms, Mozart, and Bach. And so the music is basically the same. It's just the way we teach it, because we develop the ear very early on so they can listen to beautiful playing and imitate the beautiful playing rather than just look at notes. So that is...
Do they teach other instruments that way?
Well, actually, I should say that it was developed as a method for violin first, because he was a violinist, and he taught little violinists. And he basically stayed in Japan until the early 1960s, when, I don't know if many of you know the cellist Pablo Casals. Pablo Casals was very touched when he was in Japan and saw these little kids. Now we look back as Suzuki teachers and realize that those children weren't as little as we thought they were. We thought they were 4- and 5-year-olds playing, the Bach Double Concerto, but actually they were probably 10-year-olds. But even at a 10-year-old, it's a phenomenal feat to conquer the violin Double Concerto by Bach, but in D minor. But then he soon had help from his sister-in-law and a Dr. Kataoka, who adapted the volumes from violin into the piano method. So the piano was the second instrument, and then they went to the viola and the cello. And in more recent years, we now have the flute, recorder, voice, guitar, and bass.
Wow.
So for most of the major instruments, harp.
And they just do that for young people, or if
Well,
you're starting,
Well, what it
when
is,
you're older, you're sort of not as quick like that.
well, actually, I don't teach adults very often. I really like the young children. An adult would learn just as successfully through this method because it's developing the ear as opposed to just notes. However, an adult, because they're reading, in your normal word reading, is so developed that you would easily read it also. So, but the whole premise is to develop the ear so that you can hear good playing as opposed to just notes, is the whole point.
Now, Tim, this recital is a requirement of his development.
Yes. Yes, I require my students to have book recitals at the end of book one, mid-book two, because book two is a long book and in the child's development. For older children, it's not as much as of a developmental task, but for children as young as Tim, book two, it takes a little bit longer. I usually, not necessarily, because I know Tim, but I'm just saying for average children, book two might take a couple years to go through because there are long extensions in fingers. That you start to do some octave work, and in book two, not much, but a little bit of octave work. I break that book up into the minuet recital and then the book two at the end of book two, and then at the end of book 3 and 4, and so on. There are 7 volumes in the Suzuki piano program. At which point I do not necessarily teach everything in the order after a certain point because I feel that the Suzuki material is heavily Baroque and classical with a little bit of romantic if you're knowing the musical styles and no contemporary. So I do a lot of supplementing with contemporary because I think children need to have an ear for that too.
Timmy just wants to play electric guitar.
Well, I understand. Yeah, I understand. So anyway, so just to understand, you had asked me to play. I like to do that. Whether I'll do that tonight, I have to think about. I'm an accompanist. I'm a strong accompanist. I love working with children. I just right at this point where I am right now, I can't think of what it would be decent to play. So, I'll think about it.
Okay. Well, I'll let you off the spot, and I'd like to introduce my son, Timothy Regula.
Clap your hands.
Does everyone have a program? by performing publicly his poise. And I think Tim displayed some poise there in the middle of his routine.
Very good.
Timmy, your mother and I are very proud of you very proud of you for the work that you've done, and we have something for you. We recognize you're making it through the Book One Suzuki. And I think you have something for your teacher. You want to get it for a second? I think she has something for you too, but yeah.
Oh, thank you. You know I like
Come on over here to the
flowers,
camera.
don't you?
Come over here, Tim.
You know I like flowers, huh? That's great.
I'll let you put him down somewhere if you want.
Thank you very much.
Wait.
Okay.
All right.
Yes.
Tim, you're not quite done yet. Sit down here a second.
Well, I'm real proud of Tim, and you know, I forgot to mention too, last spring, probably most of you know, Tim played in the National Piano Playing Auditions. He did what we call Piano Guild. He played 10 pieces in that and got his gold pin here, and that's what that pin is. So he did a great job. But I am very proud to present to you your certificate for completing Book One and an awesome piano ribbon. Okay? Remembrance boxes.
So,
Good job.
Very nice.
Very good.
Isn't that nice? That's real nice.
you show it to everybody.
Did you read it?
You thought of something you wanted to do? No?
It's memory right now. Yeah.
Um,
Oh, I can do that. You want me to do book two?
Why don't you, we can impose on Dr. Hogan
Yeah,
here
I
to give you an idea of what's in Book Two. You don't need the footstool?
No. No, that's surprising, I'm so sure. I'll tell you a little bit about Book Two too, because Tim started Book Two, last week did we start it, or the week before? There's a big jump between Book One and Book Two, because Book One is, as you know, is mostly folk songs. That's okay, honey.
Come here.
But in Book Two, we have, I think there are 7 or 9 pieces by Bach, his early works. And we call it the Minuet book, so I'll play a couple minuets for you. And then at the end of the book, we have Beethoven's Sonatina. Our first minuet is a minuet from a suite in G major. So this is our first one. From the Anna Magdalena Bach notebook. When Bach married his second wife, Anna, she compiled a lot of music that most of it was written by him, but several of the pieces were not. And actually, this is attributed to Bach, but it's really written by a man named Christian Petzold. That was something that was dug up just recently. We found that that's who wrote this piece. So maybe it's familiar too. lot during the Baroque period to just fancy up music, and you can add them wherever you want to add them. So Tim will be learning that. So just a couple little pieces.
We appreciate that. That shows you what a step up it would be
Yes.
when he has his next recital.
Yes, and that's why I pointed out Baroque music, because Baroque music is where the hands start to do a lot of things that are very different than the first book with the chords and just a little bit of accompaniment. But when you get into Baroque music, you're dealing with melody and counter melody.
So you have to at the time of the child's growth period, don't you have to allow for that, the muscular, I mean, the
Absolutely.
skeletal and all that come into
Absolutely.
it because of
Yes,
the expanse of the hands and all that?
absolutely. And oftentimes, now
So
Tim's
that's
hands are, Tim has a pretty good hand span for his age.
Mhm.
But I have some children that are even 10 and 11 years old that have smaller hands than he does.
Wow.
So what I do is I adjust the music. I try to take intervals, especially like if they have octave work, as I mentioned before, which means that they have to hit 8 notes. Most children can't do that, so I will adjust the music and I write in my own
I always
notes.
find that so interesting because the genius of a child that can play way beyond its time, and you think
That's
of where they're at in the period
In
of
their
growth.
physical, right, yeah. Well, and we find that a lot with, Mozart was a great example of that. He'll have some Mozart music in the second book. But Mozart was 7 years old when he wrote the piece that Tim will be probably playing maybe in a couple weeks. I mean, he's so quick, but probably a couple of months. The piece that Mozart wrote was 7 years old when he wrote that piece. And you think his fingers were so tiny, and yet there's such spans in some of this music.
Can we hear that piece? Can we hear what Kim will be doing in a month? With a little work?
Well,
I gotta think which one. So much music in my head right now. Do you have a second book here?
Do you have the second book there?
No, my mind is just drawing a blank. Do you have your book too?
You have the book too?
Yeah. Is it? I got plenty on my mind. That's book 3. I was playing Vivaldi this afternoon, so it comes all in my mind. That's why when you asked me, it's like,
And your children started with kinder music, right?
yes, they
Which
did.
is what Katie's
They
doing right
did,
now.
absolutely, yes. All my children had kinder music.
That's what Katie's doing.
Sorry. Skip the repeat. And actually, then we have Beethoven at the end of the book, the first sonatina. And he was, doesn't have the date here, but I think he was probably around 10 when he wrote this.
Yeah.
So it's amazing that,
in the book there, Bach and Beethoven, right? Chopin.
Chopin is not in any of the Suzuki literature. I'll tell you why. Chopin is definitely for the more advanced piano student. And that's why it's so heavily classical and Baroque in here, because really, as I said earlier, it is actually, it's more of a preschool program. That's why when I say preschool, I don't mean that it be stopped, when they're in school. But a 2- and 3-year-old can start this.
Amazing.
That's why I say it's a preschool program. So if a child is maybe even 4 when he starts, he could possibly be 9 when he gets to the upper books. Well, think about that. Most kids, when they start traditional lessons, are about 9.
Yeah.
And they're playing sonatas, Mozart sonatas and Haydn sonatas. And so then we expect them at maybe 12 to start Chopin, which is pretty consistent. That's what my son's playing next week at Carnegie Hall. He's playing a Chopin nocturne.
Good luck.
And B flat minor.
I just love the Polonaise.
Oh,
I'll
yeah.
have to wait a few years to get him playing.
Yeah, it'll be a few years. I wish I had brought some music. I would play a few Polonaises for you, but yeah.
Well, you like Strauss anyways. All you ever wanted to hear was Blue Danube.
Uh-huh.
So old guy.
Yeah. You must like that new fella that, I mean, he's not new, but I'm trying to think of the guy
Andrew Root.
yes.
Oh, that takes some, isn't it?
Yeah, I enjoy listening to him. And then New Year's Eve, is it New Year's Eve or New Year's Day, Strauss program on the public television. Have you seen that?
Well, I'm supposed to announce that dessert is served, and we can all help ourselves and continue the conversation. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
This was fun.
What happened to the girls?
Oh, they went downstairs.
Downstairs.
No,
Would the boys and girls in the middle just go back to their seats real quick so our children can get through to their parents? Magnificent. Hey, if you're Mrs. Gamal and Mrs. Fox's room, it's your turn to come and sing.
Okay, wait, let's put this stuff over here. Over here. Andy, wait, here. Okay. I have to sign up for a conference. Don't blow up the shelf so there are no spots going Kate, here, I'll put whiskers on you. Come here. You have to hold very still.
Put whiskers on me.
Purple. Here.
That's purple. Is Caleb want purple whiskers? What's black, right? You don't? How about gray? Gray. Hello. How you doing? Trick or treat!
Hi, Tim. Let's go see what Mom's doing.
How you like me?
What do you say?
Trick or treat. Meow. Trick or treat.
grown-ups too.
Worship Him, our Savior's come. Baby Jesus, tiny child. Hallelujah, praise the King. Baby Jesus, born today.
that, they're gonna have, at least they're gonna have all that. So you can, at least a half an hour to an hour to get through that little further out. Make sure. While they're painting, you have the 3 lanes.
You have to smile, Bob.
It seems farther to come up here than what it did when we went to their other house.
Dad, why do you have the video camera? Can that video
At
thing?
least nothing that I can see. He said if there were, he said,
Come on
then
outside,
he would
Tim.
say I definitely have to have it. But
Finish it later, come on.
Dad, what does it look like through there?
I don't
Kind of like a TV, honey.
Let me see.
black nor red.
Can I see, Dad?
No, it's a black and white TV, Kate.
You see?
Yeah.
It's a black and white
Okay.
TV. Hey, Dad.
Yes, I remember.
That looks cool.
Now this is everyone coming to take our picture.
Yes, and we are about to take pictures right about now. Hey.
Yes, we're gonna take pictures pretty soon.
Yes,
As
sir.
you can see, we're all lining up in an order. It's like talking on the. Katie. Come on, Grandma.
Where's Katie?
Where's Katie?
I don't either.
Here, Katie.
Belinda? Say hi, John.
Hey, hey, hey.
Hi, Dad. You have to do it. Please come in.
Excuse me.
This is the whole
Okay, guys, 1, 2, 3. Wait.
Stop the song.
Okay, 1, 2, 3.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Katie. Chop, chop, chop. Happy birthday to you. Chop, chop, chop. May the dear Lord bless you. May the dear Lord bless you. going up to heaven. You're not supposed to tell anybody. If you tell
Everybody go back and sit right where we get your pizza. Go back.
All right, well, let me tell you what we're going to do. I, Jody Terry, am going to bring out some very wonderful, friendly animals that my son and daughter have raised. None of these animals bite. They're all very nice, and that's, of course, why I can bring them to Katie's birthday. But I got to tell you, I know that some of them are going to look a little scary. Don't even worry about it. They're all big babies, okay? They actually are part of my family. And, well, I'm going to bring them out. You're going to see them. You're going to be allowed to learn about them, obviously, and you're going to be allowed to touch them, too. And that's what's really neat. Now, if I walk around with an animal that you don't want to touch, you're not going to hurt my feelings, and you're not going to hurt their feelings. You don't have to pet them. If you want to pet them, that's really great. We know chickens can't wear pants or boots, but she's got some pants. Everybody say, hi, Chicky. Now, I'm going to bring her around. I want everybody to pet her. She is one very nice chicken. And of course, Katie, you're going to start us off. So pet her first, and I will bring her around. Everybody can see just what you want. Now, you want it? Let's all clap for her. Very nice. Now, I want to show everybody that she can fly. So turn around and face me, okay? Now, when I count to 3, I want you to toss Chicky to me. Okay? Just a nice little toss on the count of 3.
This is going to be good. Let it be on film, Gary. Let it be on film.
3. Well, you grab her for me and hand her up there. Everybody have a seat where they were. All right, let's clap for Katie. She did a nice job. And let's all clap for Katie's mom. She did a great job. All right, you can have a seat right there, and I'm going to go ahead and put Chicky back. Everybody say bye. Chicky. All right, and there you go. Now, was that chicken softer? Chinchilla happens to be the softest animal in the world. I know you may not believe it just yet, but you will once you pet her. Now, I have to tell you that she's actually 10 years old. I've had her whole entire life. She's a very nice chinchilla from South America, and her name is Little Chili. Now, I'm going to bring her out, and then what I would like you to do is everybody say, hi, Little Chili. Hi, Little Chili. Now, yes, I bring Little Chili around. I want everybody to pet her. I don't want you to be afraid of her. She's actually quite nice. She's got some big whiskers, which she'll jiggle and wiggle, because she's got whiskers to jiggle and wiggle, but I don't want you to be afraid. Okay? You know what? Your hamster happens to be Little Chili's cousin. So go ahead. Everybody pet her.
Did she touch it?
Brittany did.
Oh, everybody, back up, have a seat. Let me do all the work. I'll bring her out. Now, Katie, why don't you do me a favor? Come on up here. I'm going to let you hold Little Chili. Now, what you do here is you just put your hands out nice and flat, like you're catching raindrops, okay? That's perfect. Now, I'm going to put Little Chili on your hands. Just reach out like that. Beautiful. Clap for her. Yeah. Now, when I count to 3, I want you to throw her to me, okay? Now, joking. She's not a flyer, but she is a jumper. Watch. Now, you can have a seat, and I'm going to put her back. So everybody say bye, little children. Now, you probably noticed that her tail wasn't so soft. That's because her tail, well, is used for balance.
The Jungle
See
Terrier or
that?
the Chili?
Back and forth. She jumps and she doesn't fall because of that cool little tail. Now I'm going to put her back.
Now I see
inside her,
Barb.
and this time he's getting ready to take a nap. We don't want him to take a nap, so I'm going to bring him out.
Oh.
What exactly is
It's all fun and games till Barb gets red.
Here, what is it? That one would be his cousin. Beaver would be his cousin. Gopher would be his cousin.
Turn off a second.
Glad. Sometimes it's a very soft bark, sometimes it's a very loud bark. Ready, buddy? All right, Jake, come here. Okay, give us work. Yeah. Perfect. Now, I'm going to bring him around, and you guys... I'm going to bring him around, and you guys can all pet him, okay? Done. All right, now, don't be afraid. He's really nice. Very good. See, guys, this is like petting a squirrel. Now, I want you to notice that he's got very little ears and very big, sharp claws.
Come over here.
Everybody say Jungle Terry's favorite African pygmy hedgehog. Well, you're right. It is my favorite, and you did a nice job of saying it. And why is it my favorite? Because, well, guess what? This little girl's going to let you guys pet her. And that's why she's so unique. Now, I have to tell you that she looks a little like she's kind of dangerous, but she's not. She's a big baby. She's a little hedgehog from Africa. Here she is. Now, everybody say, hi, Hedgie. Now, as I bring Hedgie around, I'd like it very much if everybody was to pet her, and don't be afraid of her. These spikes are actually, well, when she's all relaxed like this, they lay right down. It kind of feels like a hairbrush. So when I bring her around, everybody...
She cuts out.
Well, that's what it feels like. A hairbrush. About the hedgehog. First of all, we don't have them around here. They come from Africa. And, well, they come out at nighttime because they happen to be a nocturnal animal. So at night, they actually see quite well, better than you and I could ever see. And when they come out at night, they like to walk around and eat bugs and grubs and things like that. Can you guys tell me another animal, and raise your hand, please, that lives around here in the woods? Raccoon would be a great answer. So maybe owl would be another great answer. Rats? Yeah, I guess you're right. They are nocturnal. What else? Deer. Yeah, very good. Yes. Mice. Okay, okay. Ah, that's the one I was thinking about. It really stinks. The skunk. Oh, and what's the other one that flies? It's almost their season. Halloween end. Halloween end.
A bat.
That's the one, yeah. Bat. But there is one more that hangs around here by his tail. What is it? What is it? A tree? No. A possum. Very good. So these are all animals that come out at night. Now, something that you didn't mention that lives around here that comes out at night are sticky, slimy frogs. I have 2 frogs with me today. One comes from Australia and one comes from Argentina. One's a skinny little guy, one's a big fat guy. One's very small, one's very fast. Well, let's meet the fast skinny fella from Australia. There he is. Do me a favor, put one finger in the air, and as I bring little Shamrock around, you can touch it with that one finger and look at that slimy stuff on your finger and you don't like the way it feels? Good, just like that. Because you know what? It's just water. So, very cool. This frog changes colors.
That was like some of John's dates before he met you.
No, that's common.
I think it's really cool. All right, now, before I put my little froggy friend back, I'd like to... Now, everybody sit really still. See, if I hold them like this, not a problem. If I hold them on the side, not a problem. But how about upside down? Whoa! Very cool. See, he's got suction cup toe pads. Everybody say toe pads. Say suction cup toe pads. And now say bye, Shamrock. Now, I like Shamrock a lot, and he happens to be Jungle Junior, my son's favorite kind of frog, because he likes to take him out and nature. But I'll tell you what, my favorite frog is a little different than his. Mine's that big fatty frog. And, well, his name, the boys and girls call him Jabba. Now, if you didn't get wet the first time, you're definitely going to get wet this time. And this guy sits in the water all day long. So, Katie, touch his jelly belly.
What a life, friend. What a life. I get over real fast, or you see pass me around.
Really neat jelly belly. He's also got a very big mouth, and he will open his mouth if we ask him to. So on the count of 3, everybody say, Jabba, open your mouth. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Jabba, open your mouth! You know what? He actually likes when we use our mouth. So let's just say, Jabba, please open your mouth. Okay, try again. Ready? Go. Jabba, they said please, so please open your mouth. Come on, open it up. There. But please close your mouth. Now, we're going to put him back because he's a really neat frog. But I'd like to bring out... Now, do frogs make friends with the alligator? No! Frogs know that alligators eat them, so we're going to put Jabba back. So everybody say bye, Jabba. Bye, Jabba. All right, buddy. We're going to put you safely back here in your box, and then we're going to bring out this really cool alligator, which, well, Jabba doesn't know this, but he doesn't even eat frogs. He eats hot dogs. All right, my hot dog eating friend in this box here has been with me for 9 years. When I bring him out, he's going to have big sharp teeth, you know, but don't worry about it, because really, really, really he likes those things, because my son and daughter actually raised him. And you know what? I want you guys to smile for me. So when he comes out of his box, he sees that you're smiling, and he knows that you're friendly. Okay? This is going to work out really well. Now, everybody smile, and well, I'll show you his tail. All right, see? Now, big smiles, big smiles. Smiley, come on out, bud. Now, most of you are still smiling. smiling, that's a good sign. Now, what I would really like you to do is this. Everybody smile as big as you can and
Look.
wave. Say hi,
What is that? Look.
Now, the friendliest alligator. Oh, you know what? I want you to do me a big favor right now. As I bring Smiley around, I want you to touch his tail. This is so cool. Because most girls, we normally can't touch it.
I want to touch it.
Isn't that so nice? But today, it's a good day. We can do this. Be careful, that's all.
I zoomed into her ear. It's good stuff.
All right, everybody, watch this. Right up here, please. Now, when you are 5 years old, you have to hold the tail. When you are 6 years old, you have to hold the tail. When you are 7, I give you the choice. You want to hold the head or do you want to hold the tail?
The head.
There you go. All right, you stand over there. I want you to hold the chest and the head just like that. You got him? Big smile. Everybody clap for her. Very good. Well, you know what? This is one very nice alligator. You know what I'm going to do now? I'm going to prove to everybody that you helped me hold a real alligator. You have a seat right where you were. Everybody watch this. Now, after you sit right there, I'm going to take Smiley and I'm going to place him on the ground and he's going to move around. That way you'll definitely know that he's real. But don't be afraid. That's your butt. Don't move, don't move. Now watch. Here he is. He's looking at you. Now don't be afraid. You'll run it, but I'll get you. But first, I need to show you a secret. See, when you and I go swimming in a pool and we go underwater, what do we put over our eyes? Goggles. Now, when he goes underwater, does he get out of the water and put on a pair of goggles and then go back in the water? He doesn't need to, but he does need to protect his eyes. So he's got two, not one, two eyelids. Watch when he blinks.
I see.
Watch it again. One goes up. The other side's to the front. Watch. See? Watch his eye. 1, 2. See? Watch. 1, 2.
I can't see it.
Now, if you look, it's really tiny. All right, you guys. We're going to go ahead and put Smiley back, so everybody wave and say, see you later, kid.
See you later, kid.
Hey, you know what, buddy? I'm going to put you back because we want something for Katie to sit on, and I don't think she should sit on you. Do you think Katie should sit on him?
No.
Should Katie sit on the, hedgehog?
No.
How about the big fat frog?
No.
How about an elephant?
No.
You could, but I didn't bring one. How about a turtle?
Yeah.
All right. Now, my job is to find a turtle big enough for Katie to sit on. So, let's see. How about we start in this box over here?
I think it's a tortoise.
Yes, it is a tortoise. A turtle that lives on land.
It's a tortoise. Why is a Russian tortoise a small one?
You sit on it?
No, it's little.
I know. They don't get as big as this one, but you know what? They're still really cool. All right, Katie, should she sit on, this one?
No.
This is a baby. His name is Tortellini. Everybody say hi, Tortellini. All right, 10 years, Tortellini will be big enough to sit on. I'm going to put Tortellini back. All right, should she sit on this one?
No.
No, and there's nobody at home. Plus, it's a small shell. So, we can't get a turtle big enough out of this box, so I'm going to go back over here. Because the turtle that I have in this box is 10 years old, and she's too big enough for Katie. Because almost big enough for me. A couple more years, she's awesome. Her name? Well, we call her Sporty. Katie, this is Ginger Lee's tortoise. She only eats fruits and and vegetables. You have nothing to worry about. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to come on over here. I want you to sit right on her back. Sit right on her. Now, let me tell you what she's doing. Katie is helping Jungle Terry train Torty. By her sitting on this tortoise, she gets used to having somebody on her back. So when she gets bigger, she'll be able to ride her. You know why I want to do that? I did this when I was a boy, a little boy, at the Cleveland Zoo. One of the big tortoises that are still there even today. Now, you know what's really neat about this tortoise too? You see the big spikes that are on her legs? Boys and girls, those spikes that are on her legs are the same spikes that used to be on dinosaurs' legs. Can we pet dinosaurs? No. Let's pretend they're still alive and there's a T-Rex out in the front yard. Who's gonna run out there and pet the T-Rex? You guys have never watched Jurassic Park. I'm telling you. The T-Rex is a big one that eats people. You don't want to go pet that one. But this one's a vegetarian, so we're gonna pet her instead. So Katie, pet her legs. Now, Katie, you can have a seat right where you were. If you are a girl, I want you to come up and pet her legs. If you are a girl, please. All right, girls, why don't you put the legs, have a seat so all the girls get a chance. Don't worry. All right, boys, all the girls back up. Boys, come on up and pet her legs. I know why. There you go. That was easy. All right, you guys, I'll tell you what, I think turtles are really cool. And when I was a little boy, they used to call me Turtle Terry. But they also called me... So, if I put my turtle back and I bring out my snakes? Well, that sounds real convincing. Can I bring out some snakes? Yeah! If I bring them out, do you want to see them? Yeah! Do you want to touch them? Yeah! Do you want to eat them? Yeah! Guess what? I will bring them out. I brought the smallest one that I can fit in this box, and I brought the largest one I can fit in this box. So we're going to be a baby and his 3-year-old cousin, the python. Now, Torty back, Torty back, say bye, Torty! All right, Torty's got to go back. All right, now, the littlest snake that I can bring is really little. And it's little because it happens to be hatching out of This happens all the time in the woods, maybe even in our yards. Baby snakes hatch. They hatch under the dirt and the mulch. You see them. My mommy snakes lay their eggs right inside their boxes. And I look inside sometimes and I find these eggs. And today, I put one of these babies in a jar so you can see it hatching. Now, bring it around and just look inside their jar. This is a fun snake. Let me tell you a little story about this baby snake. Once it comes all the way out of its egg, okay, then he's going to start searching around for food. That's when sometimes we find baby snakes, because they're all looking for food, okay? And once they start to eat, they begin to get bigger, they grow. But you know what happens? their skin doesn't grow with them. So every couple of months, they shed their old skin off. It's like when you guys grow up, the clothes you got on today aren't going to fit you maybe next year, so you're not going to wear them again. Same thing with snakes. So you know what I did? I didn't bring the mommy. She was eating, but she shed her skin. Would you like to see that? Yeah! All right. This is pretty cool because it's the whole piece from the tip of the head to the tip of the tail. The whole snake. Now, what I can do is take the snake skin and throw it in the air. Look at that. See that? It like glides because there's no snake inside there. See, this is just the skin. Now, I can take my finger and put it in the mouth of the snake skin, and I'm not worried about getting bit because it's like the real snake. But when I bring it around, if you look at the head, you'll see these two little bubbles. Guess what? Snakes never close their eyes. They're not like an alligator. So, to protect their eyes, they grow skin over their eyes. And when they shed, see the bubbles? Would you like that?
That was good.
Everybody turns around. I was holding 10 minutes. I couldn't hold it anymore. I was getting parched. I was waiting for a big scream. Like, it wasn't coming.
Isn't that cool?
The kids were turning around looking like she's
Alright, now, what I will do is put the skin away because even though it's really neat, it's not as neat as a nice big python where I have Now, I will tell you this, she's only 3 years old, and I have to tell you another story. Now, 3 years ago, when this snake hatched from her egg was about the size of my fist. And when she was only a baby, she was already this big. And then she had her very first birthday party, you know, invited all the frogs and turtles over. Guess what? She was this big. Now that she's 3, is this. Before we pet her, let me show you a couple of things about her that I think you should know. First of all, look at this. She sticks her tongue out. Is she being rude? No. She's smelling everybody in the room. They smell with their tongues. They have a nose right there on the tip of the head. That's how they breathe. Now, when you touch a snake, not yet, when you touch a snake, they're dry. Look at that, not slimy like the frog. And you can pet her this way or this way, it doesn't really matter. The skin on her back is thick for protection. Watch this, snakes crawl, because I find them everywhere. They climb trees because I find them in the trees. I know they can swim because I find them in the house underneath the water. I know they can fly. I've seen them on TV. Guess what? They use their belly scales called scoots. Everybody say scoots. All right, watch these scoots and how they work. Oh, yeah. Now listen, go down, you hear nothing. Muff. No, that's how they crawl and climb and hug and squeeze. And speaking of hugging and squeezing, now it's time for her to hug and squeeze you guys. So, why don't we do this? Raise your hand if you want to help hold her. All right, if I pick you, I want you to stand behind me, facing that way. Katie, square them. You're going to stand over there and hold the head. Okay, you stand next to her, 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 and you, everybody back up, back up, back up.
You what?
You go up. Everybody will get a chance.
What?
You go up. All right. How about you go up, and you go up, and you go up. All right, you guys all back up. You're going to be next. All right. Now, Katie, you're going to stay up with both groups, okay? Right now, you're going to hold the head. You guys are going to hold the body. All right? You put your hands up underneath the belly. Very, very heavy. Okay. All right. Now, you grab the tail from Annie, okay? Got it? All right. Here we go. Very good. How about we clap for them, huh? All right. Now, the girls that haven't had a chance and the boys that haven't had a chance, stand up. All right, no, don't come up here yet. You guys take one giant step forward. You guys that are gonna help, go behind them. Go behind them, behind them. Katie's gonna stay here though, so you line up behind somebody.
No, she's over there.
Line someone behind you. Dylan over here, Dylan over here. All right, you guys in the front, do me a favor. Take the snake, raise it above your head. You guys in the back, grab the snake. Now you guys that already held, have a seat.
Does it? Smells like her snake. Or John. It's all right. Here we go. There's a casualty.
All right, everybody. On the count of 3, everybody say snake. 1, 2, 3. Very good. All right, you guys clap for each other. Excellent job. All right, now everybody's going to have a seat except for Katie because it's time for her birthday hug. A little closer to me. There you go. Now, I'm going to take one in the hand, and we're going to wrap her around you a little bit, okay? Now, all the way around. Oh, we're going to go one more time, okay? Here we go. Don't worry, she's already eaten today. There you go. No, she's not going to fall. There we go. Let's clap for her. Excellent. Where's that head going? Not towards the chinchilla, I hope. Very good. All right, now, guys, I'm going to go ahead and put Banana Anna back. And, Katie, you can go. Have a seat right where you were. Go on. Just stand up. She'll fall right off. Go on, stand right up. She'll fall right off. There you go. Now, boys and girls, when I put this snake back, we are going to meet a little friend of mine who's the total opposite of the snake. Everybody back up.
Lizard!
All right. When I'm talking opposite, I mean opposite. Like for example, snakes have no hair. She's got lots of hair. Snakes have no legs. She's got 8 branches. It's tarantula time. Now, I have to ask you to do me a favor. When I bring Rosie out, you can't scream. You're going to scare her. She's really nice, so we don't need to scream when she comes out. But, guess what? We can all scream before she comes out. So when I count to 3, you just go ahead and let it loose. Scream as loud as you want. All right? Here we go. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. That was all right, but I bet you could do better. 1, 2, 3! All out of your system. Now everybody put a finger in the air. Because it's only going to take one finger to touch her tummy.
Say, Cara, you give her a kiss.
Here she is. Oh, no screaming. Should be out of your system. Now, when I bring her around, if, and you don't have to, if you want to touch her belly, just bring her around. Watch. Katie will do it first.
Give her a kiss, Cara.
Very soft. And that's what's really neat about it. No, it's you.
Stop
Get up there, Sherry. You're going to miss your turn.
Right after your wife goes out, though.
What are you doing?
All right, you guys, I have to tell you, you've done a great job for Jungle Terry, so I think you ought to all clap for each other. Go ahead. Now, I'm going to go ahead and put Rosie back, and then there's still one more thing I'd like to do. Since it turned out to be a nice day today, what I always do is I let the birthday person sit in the jungle truck. Yes, parked right out in front by the front door. I want you to sit in the jungle truck, and I'm going to have all of your friends stand by the side, and we're going to pose for a really great picture for you for your birthday, okay? Now, she's going to sit inside. Everybody else, we have to actually put you where I want you when we're out there. But I notice not everybody has their shoes on. So is that going to be hard to do? Get their shoes on?
No.
Listen to this. No, I put my shoes on. All right. Where are they?
They're all up in the front hall closet, so.
All right. All right. Hey. No. All right, Katie, come on over. Okay, you sit in the driver's seat. There you go. Very cool. All right. Now, I want, don't raise your hand. I'm going to go by. I want you to come with me.
Katie,
Hey, you come with
stick
me.
your head up. Kate, stick your head up.
Okay. I want you to stand on the very end. I want you to stand next to her. I want you to stand on this side. Okay? Yep. You stand on this side. Okay. I want you to stand next to her right there. I want you two girls to come together. You guys stand right there. Okay. Very good. I want you to stand by her right there. Very good. I want you to stand next to him right there. I want you to stand right here, but don't put your hand there, okay? Stand right there. Here, move over a little bit, guys, so she can hear them here. Very good. Okay, I want you to stand next to her. I want you two girls to stand right in the front here. All right, I want you also, come on over here, you stand right there. All right, now I want you to stand in front of her. I want you to stand in front of her. Let's see. Yeah, okay. I want you to stand in front of her.
That's a better place.
I want you, let's see. I want you to, I don't really want you to sit down, but when I tell you to scooch, this is what I mean. You can't stop this, okay? So I want you to do that right there, okay? Scooch right there. Okay, you do the same thing. Do it right there, face in front. Okay, you do the same thing right here. You do it right there, okay? Oh, right there. It's okay. The call from the wild.
She's picking it up for you.
Jane. Say your boyfriend.
That's the call of the wild, huh?
Sit right over there. Do it, honey. You scooch right there. Very good. Look out. Beep, 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 beep. All right, you go right there. You go. All right, you scooch right there. And then I want you to do me a favor. You stand up, because you got a dress on right there, and you scooch right there. Okay, now, let's see. Wow. Can we do it from that direction, or maybe?
Put one knee on the ground, Joe.
Yeah, you're going to have to go on an angle. You're right.
Yeah, cool.
So, because of the sun.
Perfect.
All right, now, on the count of 3, this is what we're going to do. We're going to growl like a lion. We're going to show some teeth and some big claws, okay? On the count of 3, but don't look at me. I'm going to be doing it too. You look over there, okay? On the count of 3. Ready? Claws and teeth. 1, and growl. 2, 3! Excellent. Do it again. 1, 2, 3! Good. Now, if you're scooched down there for me, I want you to stand up. All right. If you're in the front row, take 3 giant elephant steps away from the truck. 1, 2, 3. Now, if you're in the second row, all you guys to the left, take 2 giant elephant steps away from the truck. Now, everybody turn around and face Katie. Let's all clap for her. She did a great job for John Terry. All right. Well, guys, you did a fantastic job for me. The only thing left to say is this. When you're outside playing and you come across a wild animal, don't touch it, because wild animals are just that. They're wild. They're not mean. They're just afraid of us. If you try to touch them, what could happen?
You get germs.
You could get germs by getting bit. So we don't touch wild animals. The ones that I brought are okay because they happen to be pets. Everybody, clap for each other. You did a great job. All right. Well, Katie, you're going to be the line leader again and take all your friends back to the house. Everybody line up now.
No meal?
I guess it is. That does. Oh, hi, Boomer. This is Boomer.
What's sweetie?
You have a hairdo. Looks hilarious. This looks hilarious on Facebook. Let's take a
Katie,
No.
go the other way.
So funny, he doesn't
Katie,
look
go
like
the other way.
He's all fuzzy. She's so nice and pretty.
It looks like we got a hairdo.
I think his hair is straight. It's not.
I guess that is,
Oh, look how fuzzy his ears are. They look like crazy.
You got a haircut too.
he did have
You think-
Ooh, Mom, can I have bubble? Can I have bubble? Mom, can I have bubble?
Only thing I showed was the product. I also wrote a show.
This is 2002, Mom.
Indiana.
Who? Oh, yeah.
This is the
No, we don't.
22nd. You're almost.
Boomer's kind of like me. Sometimes you have to really turn it. Yeah. That was one of those things I bought on the internet at the very beginning, and I got taken for a ride, you know, lifetime guarantee, you know, for 9 yards. Yeah, of course it'll last a lifetime. And I'm serious about it. Yes, I'm
I need help with my Aaron boy.
Ellie, I gave you the glasses for you back. What's that about?
This took me a little while to get the last one in.
Well, stop. Keep it in.
Stop.
Stop. Just cross.
Hey, Daddy.
Yes, you are.
You are matching.
Push your chest out. Keep your shoulders back.
See if you can get Mommy to smile.
I think our cat likes this cat.
Brave Timmy.
Sit up straight, Katie. Tall. Sit. Get back, Katie. Sit. Get back. Stand back. Get out. Get back, Katie. Nice and tall.
3 people and a cat.
Noel.